Hi, I'm Diane Cherico, and I just had an amazing episode with Kim Sorrelle. I love how she's spreading hope and healing to everybody. And I'm here to spread hope and healing for any muscular pain that you may have. I have a great solution for you, and it only takes minutes a day. So I look forward to hoping you hear this message and pass it on. So God bless you. I wish you all the best.
Welcome to the show. I'm so happy you're here. You are going to be so happy you're here. I'm Kim Sorrelle. I write, I speak, I get to do so many fun things in life. But my favorite thing to do by far is to meet people. And I get to meet some of the coolest people ever. I have been so looking forward to this. Diane, I feel like we're kindred spirits in so many ways, is on my show today. And she is going to be working magic for you today. So you are going to want to listen to what she has to say. If you have any pain in your body whatsoever, stay tuned. If you know anybody who has any pain, tell them, tune in right now, because by the end of the show, you might feel like a whole new person. So let's start this off. Diane, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure to be with you.
Yeah, well, it's such a pleasure to have you. I'm so glad that you're here. So Diane, before we dive into the other stuff, I really want people to get to know you. So I'd love to hear about 8-year-old Diane.
8-year-old Diane. Well, 8-year-old Diane was just caring and wanted to be a mom and, just playing with life. But 14-year-old Diane was starting to get serious about really helping people. So I volunteered at my local hospital. And so I was the candy striper, the pink hat and the pink dress with the stripes on it, and helping people. And the hospital that I was in my hometown, and it was a terrible hospital. So that wasn't good for all the patients, but it was good for me because I got to do a lot more than just give water and say hello. So I was feeding patients, I was helping change beds and helping clean up people and like really doing stuff to help people. So I said, I think I really want to be a nurse. And that was my original calling. And then life happened and I met my husband in high school and we got married and before you know it, remember that 8-year-old kid who wanted the baby? Well, well, I did. I had my first child and then life got in the way and then, before I know it, I had another child. But as they grew, I realized I was in an abusive relationship. I mean, physically, the mental abuse is real.
Mm,
I know it's not physical, but it hurts physically, doesn't it? When somebody keeps degrading you and, you're never good enough and all of that. And, it was starting to get a little physical. So I said, you know what? I moved out with my kids but I needed a career. So, nursing was so much school and it was too much money and I just couldn't afford it and the time and the money. So my sister said, I have a friend who does massage therapy and she really loves it. And the first thing in my mind was, you make people feel good. But I thought the spa. But there was a ma and pa shop in my town. And so I was able to work part-time during the day to make the money for the school at night. And I was able to feed the family, put the kids to bed. And so I went to school before I left my husband. So I was able to still, put the kids to bed. I went to school. And then I realized how good massage is. It is so healing. There's so many benefits to it, the cleaning the lactic acid, moving lymph, no, lymph fluid, and just the relaxation from stress from this world is so beneficial.
mhm.
But then you have to, I was started loving the career. I got to tell you though, the first class of anatomy and physiology. And now here I am in my 30s, 2 kids later, and I said, no, how can I'm not going to be able to do this. Anatomy and physiology is so difficult. There's so much to it. So I finished the school and I had to continue because 3 years into this career, I was really broken because it's so hard on our bodies to do massage. And so my neck was killing me, my lower back was killing me. And so I really feel sorry for people that sit all day and, on their computers and on their phones. There's so much that gives us pain. Well, I was so broke, I was like, oh no, what am I going to do? I really liked this because I saw how beneficial it was to everybody and how much I was really helping them. I mean, hands on for real, not just giving them a pill or, you know. So, I had to take continuing education anyway, and I kept getting this flyer: work smarter, not harder, learn how to cure all these things. This guy had about 20 things on that list of what this therapy would help cure. And I kept throwing it away. I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, but bull dinkies, I don't believe that. One therapy cannot cure all these things. And there was hammer toes, sciatica, bursitis, arthritis, migraines, lower back pain. So I said, you know what? I have these things. So I might as well take the class. It was a weekend class, and it was the most comprehensive class I've ever taken in my life. And what I learned in that class just blew me away. And when I had this therapy, I came home, and that was in 2003. I took my first class. I graduated massage school in 1999, and in 2003, that's when I started doing active isolated stretching. That's what I learned in this class. And I'll tell you, I'll be honest, when I first started doing these stretches, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I was like, oh, I really feel this. And after I thought about it, I said, this is helping, not hurting, I've already been through so much pain in my life. I was like, I don't want to, incorporate any more pain, but I knew what I had here. And so I continued with it. And as the rest, as they say, is history, which is why I'm here today,
Yeah.
because I did find out how good it was and how it relieves pain. And so more people have to know about it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you just said quite a bit. So we're gonna do a
I
little bit of
did. I did.
unpacking
Yes.
and go back a little ways and then really get into it.
Sure.
Uh it's so cool. I love your heart. I love that as a 14-year-old you wanted to go help and then you're a candy striper and helping people and that's who you are, that you want to help people. I love that about you. And it shines through because everything you do is to help people, which is so wonderful. I'm sorry about your relationship. It's sad. I'm sure there's people listening who have been in your shoes who it
Yeah.
doesn't come on right away. I mean, that's why you marry the guy because
High
it
school
doesn't happen
sweetheart.
usually before, right? And then slowly things happen and slowly things happen and that is kudos to you. It's difficult to get out of a relationship. And sometimes I think people are hard on people that are in an abusive relationship, saying, just leave, just go.
Oh,
Well, it's
yeah.
not that easy.
Oh,
It's
no.
not
There's
that
a lot
easy.
to it.
Yeah. So
Yes.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Um, when from the time you decided you were leaving till the time you left, how much time was that?
Years. It really was because I really had to make a plan. And it really, when he started getting the kids, when the kids started saying, gosh, my daughter was 7 and my son was like 11. Um, and when were getting abused as well, I guess that did give me more courage to,
Mm,
try to find a way out, because I said, it's one thing, like it's bad enough I'm getting abused, but you're going to abuse the kids too, I mean, no, no.
right.
You have to come to a breaking point where you realize that your worth is a lot, and nobody should ever diminish your work and your worth and your light. We all have it, and we all deserve to shine. Nobody should
So
diminish
true.
that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I could see where that would be a big turning point, like leave the kids alone. It's one thing if you've got to endure, but it's another thing when the kids get involved. That sure would be motivation.
Yeah.
And then what was your recovery like? And and how are the kids? And because one thing too is divorce is tough on its own. Divorce from a toxic relationship, even tougher. And then you got the kids. And it's
Yeah.
probably why you stayed with them as long as you did, is because of
Oh,
the kids.
sure.
You think it's the right thing
Sure.
to do for the
Yeah.
kids. You know, how long did it take you before you are now the Diane that we see before us, right? Bubbly and perky and happy
Yes.
and full of
Yes.
joy.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, I've always been me, but it did take a while before I wasn't afraid. I really was afraid of him. And so were the kids because, I didn't know what to do. And money is a big part of it. If you financially can't afford to leave, that's a big part of it. And so I luckily have wonderful siblings. And so I asked my sister, I said, can we move in with you? I was like, I'm just going to leave that house. I don't want to deal with any of that, And when she said yes, and I said to my kids, I said, how would you feel about moving in with Aunt Arlene? And when they both said, can we go home and start packing? I was like, oh, okay.
Wow.
I knew that they needed it too. My son definitely for sure. And today my son has a good relationship with his father. My daughter not so much, and me not so much. But we all recover in our own ways, and
Mhm.
whatever way it is for you is okay. There's no right, there's no wrong. There's just what feels right for you. And you have to follow your heart, right? We all have to follow the way our paths show us and what
Yeah,
we
so
should do.
true.
Hmm.
Yeah, so true. And until you walk in somebody else's shoes, you have no idea.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't ever walk in somebody else's shoes. So I'm all about grace and mercy. Like, um,
Yeah.
just extend a helping hand, not a critical hand of judgment. Like that's
Yeah.
not your place. Your place is just be
No.
supportive and loving and kind and don't try to judge somebody else's situation because you don't know. You don't know.
No.
You know, I
Yeah.
think about that, Diane, like even if I'm driving down the road and I get cut off, instead of getting
Yeah.
upset about it, I just think, man, what's going on in their life that
Yes.
are they on their way to the hospital? Like, are they on their way because they
Yeah.
have somebody there, or what
Yes.
is it? Did they just get fired? Like, are
Right.
they having a bad day?
Yeah,
And
well, I
you
say
just
God
don't
bless
know.
you, and I pray that you don't get killed out here doing that. Like,
Yeah, right.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
right, you're right, because you don't know, and when somebody's trying to tell you what's going on in their life, sometimes they don't want advice. Sometimes it's not like they're complaining, they're explaining, and sometimes just an ear is wonderful too. And it's just like,
Mm,
oh, just be understanding sometimes is it's a beautiful thing, right?
yeah.
That's what I tell my clients is because they're like, I don't mean to be complaining. I say, no, no, no. Complaining and explaining are two different things.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I like that. So true. So true.
Mhm.
And yes, that's something I've had to learn with my daughter is that she's not necessarily looking for advice. She
Yeah.
just needs to vent or she just needs to
Yeah.
talk about it. And so I try hard to not give unsolicited advice.
But as a mother, it's so hard because you
It
want them
is.
what's best for them, and because you've
That's
been
right.
there.
That's right. No kidding. No kidding.
I
Why doesn't she
know.
just listen to me?
I know.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
true. I
Yeah,
know.
it's so true. So
Yeah.
true. So yeah, so then you went to this incredible weekend that changed everything for you
Wow.
after you threw the flyer away a dozen times.
I know. I was like, why did I keep throwing? Thank God he kept sending it. Once I went, I've never seen anybody in these positions, and I've never seen anybody stretched like he was stretching people. And it was so funny because I'm like, how does that feel? Amazing. What he would do to pick somebody to work on, he would put a name in a hat. And there was a lady who came in with a cane, and she was kind of struggling a bit. And it was her hips for sure. And she got picked for that. And he was like, okay, I trusted my work. All right, get on the table. And he takes her leg and he pulls it over. And she lets out the biggest scream. Ah! And he goes, oh my God, are you all right? Are you all right? She said, "Do it again." I got the biggest kick out of it, but I was like, yes. And like he just kept doing different things to different people, and they all loved it. Now, in one of the classes, because now I have 95 hours of training, I took three class. There's three leading experts. One of them was already retired, but I took two of the leading experts. I've taken their class. So Michael Young, he he was just amazing how he taught this, the different things, the different ways that he showed us. So I've taken three classes with him now. The way he works on fingers and every part of the body. So any part that hurts, there's an active isolated stretch for it. And, to be able to show people this, it is amazing that class just blew those classes, because I took three with Michael Young and one with another leading expert, Aaron Mattis. Aaron Mattis showed me how to do it because he's not a massage therapist, but Michael Young was. So
Mm,
he showed me how to do it with clothes on. So wherever I go, I always stretch somebody. I always find
yeah.
somebody in pain. There's always something hurt, like, how can I help you?"
Yeah, so it sounds like the way you're explaining it is it's sort of two separate things, but work so well together, massage and stretching. Is that
Absolutely.
accurate? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's a lot of massage therapists, but they're not stretching you.
Yes. And if they are, all right, do you want to know the secret?
Yes.
The secret is only hold the stretch for 3 seconds. So even these stretch places that are popping up, we're taught to hold the stretch 15, 20, 30 seconds. The longer you hold it, the better. But what that does is, when you were born, your muscles were perfect. You were beautiful, right? Nice and loose. Your fibers are nice and loose. You can fall everything. Life, overuse, repetitive use, stress knots up our muscles. So when you take this stretch and you hold it, you're going to take this and go, okay, good. All right, I'm holding it. All right. You're done, right? You don't have this, you have this, but we want this, remember. So you only hold it for 3 seconds and you shh, release, breathe out, shh, release, shh. And as you do it, your range of motion increases. So my protocol is I do 4 sets of 5 reps for a total of 20. Because you do 5 minutes of cardio, you don't really have much. You do 20 minutes of cardio, you have something. So same thing with these stretches. You do 5 and walk away, you've just, messed with that muscle and walked away. But every time you come back for another set of 5, because you make nice after, make nice. I like the make nice part. And then you come back for another set. That first set, when you first started pulling it on a number scale of 1 to 10, you feel it at an 8 or a 9. If you feel it over 10, don't pull it so hard. And if you only feel it at a 4 or a 5, pull it a little harder, get to that 9 part. But then that second set, you're going to feel at a 6 or a 7. And same thing as you go down. So, and your range of motion is going to increase before your eyes because it has more to give you. You holding a stretch is detrimental to that muscle because you're not giving it much. You're not going to release lactic acid or toxins that are built up, where this way you are. It's pretty
Mm,
cool.
yeah. Yeah. So that's so interesting because until I met you, I'd never heard that before, that
Yeah.
you only hold it for 3 seconds. I mean,
Oh,
you see gymnast stretch, you see whoever stretch, right? And
yeah.
it's always go
Runners. You see
down
them in
and
the park. Yeah, yeah.
runners. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it.
Yeah.
But that 3 seconds. So explain it again. So if
Yeah.
you're holding it for too long,
What you're doing is you're taxing that muscle because it's like I have no more to give you. So I'm going to give you an example on the deltoid. Now, a lot of us sleep on our deltoids.
mm,
You put your hand under your pillow to pull it up. I mean, and it's funny because in my office, I'm like the well-rounded. At first I sit my every client down, and first thing is mindset. That's the first thing we do, right? Is mindset. Because if you don't have that, but these
How-
stretches are,
before you
I know, I
go,
was just going to say, I
yeah,
digress. I digress. Let me go back.
yeah, tell me how you work on mindset. So
Oh, for
the
mindset.
first thing
Yeah.
you do is you
The
sit
first thing
people
I
down.
do
Yeah,
is sit them down in mindset because
I
if you
know.
don't have the right mind frame, you're not going to take care of yourself well. So, first thing is you have to realize that, and I ask people, and I know that you believe in God. So I ask people, do you have God in your life? And if they say no, I say, okay, then do you, you at least the universe and, what's guiding you? Give me something. And so hopefully they say yes to God, and I say, great. Then you're a spiritual being in a human experience, not the opposite. You're not this human having a spiritual experience. So just remember that and honor that spirit inside of you that is God's child. When you diss yourself, you're dissing our Father. So first and foremost, remember that, no self. I mean, because I've studied books like Dr. Caroline Leaf, a neuroscientist, and oh my God, I love what I learned in her book, is that your brain is your computer that runs the whole show, right? I mean, your brain has all those ins and outs and workings, but it's also programmed. Think about it. It's programmed our whole life. What you watch, what you learn, what you live, it's all programmed. But your spirit knows better. You know right from wrong, and what's good for you, what's not good for you. I mean, there's so much going on. You take control of that, because some people do transcendental meditation where they come out of their bodies and they know that they're a spirit. So if you let that spirit be in control of your computer rather than the computer being in control of the spirit, then when something's not feeling right and you're not taking care, control alt delete. Just control alt delete. Get rid of that. It's not serving you. So once we get the mindset going, then I ask them what they're doing to, then we get into all their aches and pains and everything else. And I let them explain. I know they're not complaining, they're explaining. So, okay, tell me all about it. And then I ask them what they've tried. And, I've been to this doctor, I've tried this medication, I've done physical therapy. I've had people that were doing physical therapy for over 9 months. And I'm not dissing physical therapy. There is a place for it. If you've had surgery or you've been in an accident and you need to rehabilitate, absolutely physical therapy. But for regular muscular pain that happens from stress and overuse and sleeping on it, then they're working on strength. We want length, because without length in a muscle, there is no strength. So that's what we are striving to get, is the length, so that we stop the pulling. And then I go over the stretching. So then I get to the well, once I lay them down, I do the off the bed, but I'll show you in a minute. So 3-second stretches. So you can do this with me, because a lot of deltoids get hurt. It's just like we
Mhm.
do so much. And, I hope nobody's doing weights outside their bodies. Nobody should be doing weights outside their bodies, because just life enough is enough to work our deltoid. So if you put your arm out and your hand is open and you pull it across your chest and then pull, shh, release, pull again, shh, release, and then pull again, release, make nice. Doesn't that feel nice?
Yeah, it does feel nice.
It
Yeah.
really does. And for an affected muscle, the first, like I said, the first pull, it's like, what are you doing? But then after that, it's like, oh, yeah, okay. All right, now I'm to the point where I talk for muscles, after 20, now it's almost 27 years I'm doing this. So I know muscles. I understand them, and I sympathize with them. And then I try to get people the way they sleep and, what they're doing in a day, and to make you conscious of what you're doing that's hurting that muscle. Are you on your phone like this? Is your neck hurting? It's like, just change, tweak little things. And that's all I ask. It's not like a whole big thing. I'm not asking hours. I ask people to spend 10 minutes every night because people think they should stretch in the morning because they wake up stiff and, it makes them feel better. Granted, but I don't wake up stiff. I do my stretching at night. I wake up going, all right, let's go. Let's go for the day, And then at night, I'm like, okay, let's get rid of all the stress that I had for the day. Let's get rid of all that tension. And now I can go sleep soundly. And I'm worried about, not worried. I don't like the word worry, but I care about the position I'm in. I don't want to be on my side crushing my hip and my deltoid and my neck. So you make sure you have a pillow underneath your legs, especially if you have lower back pain. It's good for your circulation, takes pressure off your lower back. It makes you feel wonderful. And most people sleep at the end of their pillow, so their shoulders are underneath and their head's on their pillow, and that makes your head in a wrong position. So you should sleep on top of with your head on top of the pillow, so your shoulders are nice and supported, and your neck is totally supported, because we're supposed to have a backward C curve in our neck. But with life, a lot of times they get straight or crooked, and that's what gives headaches, migraines, you know, pains in your neck and down your shoulders and into your shoulder. But I mean, there's so much to it.
Yeah. Interesting. So, okay, so on your back then apparently is the position you should be in for sleep.
That's what I was taught. But recently,
Yes.
because my algorithms are learn, 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 learn. I'm always
Mhm.
into learning. But I've been hearing from many different sources, and I looked it up myself. I always encourage people to find out information yourself and do different sources, because there's so much everywhere, like I was saying. So I did find out that we are supposed to be on our left sides, not our right sides, because it makes our body work harder. And if you're on your back, they say it makes your body work harder. I mean, I have always found it very comfortable, but now I don't want to lay on my total side, you know, but I'm like, okay, I like, I got this information now. So what I do is I have this great pillow. It's called a Saybrook, and it has like zillions of little microfoam. It's so good because it's soft yet firm. So if I just push it up a little bit, my shoulder is not on the bed, but just resting on top of my pillow. My pillow is up to my head, so my head's not crooked in any weird position. I'm not laying on my hip, which this is a fancy name for this muscle that's on your hip. It's a tensile fascial latte. How do you like
Oh,
that?
oh, I
Yeah,
like it. Sounds like
I
something
know.
you order at Starbucks.
Doesn't it though? I
Yeah.
know your tensile
Yeah.
fascial latte, and that attaches to your IT band, and that's your IT band is your knee stabilizer. So you don't want to be crushing that. So what I do is I have that pillow underneath my knees, and I pull it up a little bit. And I just bend my knees and I lean sideways, and I'm on my side, but not totally on my side. So I get both, I get the best of both worlds. So
Yeah.
I'm still comfortable on my pillow. My arm is resting over here, my other arm, or between my legs. So I'm not crushing anything. I'm very aware of what I'm doing with my body. I don't want it to hurt anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes so much sense. It's interesting because pillows can have a big effect
Oh,
on
yes,
how you sleep,
it
right?
does. It does. The kind of pillow you use matters.
Yeah. Is
Yeah.
there a certain kind or it's what's
I like the
for you?
Saybrook. It's called Saybrook. And I'm giving them a plug because I like that. I've been using it now for it's probably a year and a half, 2 years. And I used to like a water pillow, but it kind of loses its shape. But this one, the memory foam in it, and then it comes with a bamboo pillowcase that you can take off and throw in the wash. I like that too.
Mhm.
Cleanliness. I like cleanliness, let's be
Mhm.
honest. And so I found it to be a really great, comfortable pillow. And you take out what you don't like. So you make it to what it's good for you. It comes really full. I don't recommend anybody use it the way it comes. But I actually filled up another little small pillow that sometimes I'll put between my knees if I want to be a little more comfortable. So you make it to your liking, which we're all individuals. We all have different size necks and size shoulders and everything else. So the Saybrook, I highly recommend as a pillow.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thanks for the recommendation because I
Sure.
think a lot of times people don't know what to buy. I don't know what to buy.
No,
I
and there's
have,
so many out
oh,
there.
there's so many.
I
Right,
know, and they
right.
all say this is the best. This is the best.
Exactly, exactly, exactly true. Yeah, yeah. I feel like I stay in the same position all night, but I must move. So
Yeah,
do
I
you
usually
naturally move back into a position that is comfortable or
well, I usually end up on my back.
yeah?
Because that's how I've been sleeping for years. That's what I was taught. That's what it's been comfortable for me. But again, I'm on the top of my pillow and my legs. I use, believe it or not, I used to use a big throw pillow. But I find the throw pillows kind of come to a point at the end, that my leg kind of fell off sometimes. So I said, you know what? I was at the like Burlington or something like that, one of those stores. And I found a big doggy bed that was soft on both sides. And that's what I've been using.
Yeah.
I love it. It's big enough. Well, I'm still single, so like it fits in my twin bed. But even if you're married, even if you get like a bigger one, both of you should use it. You should both have pillows underneath your knees to take the pressure off your back. So,
Mm.
and it really works well.
Okay, so that's how you sleep, that's how you lay, that's how you
Right.
whatever. Tell me again, how many reps and how many times to do those reps?
Okay, thank you for asking.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times this gets lost in translation, and people are like, well, I did five. How many sets? I didn't know I was supposed to do it all at once. Yes, it's all at once in one sitting, and at night when you're done using your body. So you do 4 sets of 5 reps. And that's why between every set you make nice, you make that tell that muscle it's okay, you rub it, especially for the lower back. Ooh, so many people have lower back pain.
Mhm.
And the culprit for that is a muscle called your piriformis. That is a pain in the butt, literally. It attaches at your hip, the top of your femur, which is your greater trochanter, and then it goes under your gluteus maximus and attaches at your lumbar spine. Now, years ago, my mom and I were away, and her lower back started rearing its head. And we were away with 2 other ladies, and she was crying, I can't move anymore. I can't walk. My back is killing me. So I said, Mom, I got to do this stretch to you, the piriformis stretch. Okay. And so as I started doing it, she's screaming and crying and, oh my God. I'm like, Mom, I know I'm not killing you. I know, I know that
There's
you
no
feel it.
knife involved.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's no
no
blood. I
twisted
get it.
devices.
Come on
Yeah.
now. So I said, I'm just stretching your muscle. And I know it's inflamed and I know it's unhappy, but this is going to help you. Okay. So the other ladies were like, what are you doing to your mother? I'm not hurting her. Don't worry. I love her. So I did a laying down piriformis on her, but I showed her how to do the seated piriformis. Would you like to try it?
Yes, yes.
Yes. I mean, as soon as you do this, you're going to feel it in your hip. You feel it in like your groin area, which is your hip flexors, your psoas and your iliopsoas. And then it also gets like the belly of your bum, your gluteus maximus. But that's where the muscle is. So to do this one, you sit on the front 1/4 of your chair. Then you bring one leg up. You put it on top of your other leg. Now walk the other leg out so you can kind of see your foot. And then you're going to pull up on your foot like you're looking underneath, like what's underneath my foot, And I have to tell people like that because a lot of people take their toes and they pull it towards them, or, they pull it a different way. But if you have your hand on the side of where your toes are, like you're looking underneath, you feel like there's something underneath your foot. You pull up on your foot and lean on your leg, not your kneecap, but your leg. Just lean on it, and you come forward. Bring your whole torso forward.
Yeah, that's nice.
Release. Do
Yeah.
it again. Release. I know you're breathing, right? One
Mm-hmm.
more breath out. Release. Put it down. Shake your bum. Make nice. Rub
Ah, that
it.
that feels good.
Isn't
That
that
is
nice?
nice. Yes.
4 sets of 5 reps at night.
4 sets
Sitting,
of five reps.
if you're lucky enough to be sitting there watching TV at night when your day is winding down, or even if you're not, just do it. Just to, sit in a chair in your room or whatever. And
Yeah.
there's also another one that I do at night, and I call this one the off the bed. This is the best 5 minutes anybody can spend doing. And if when people come in and they have an excuse for this one, I really I can't take any excuse for it because I'm like, that's an excuse. That's not, come on,
Mhm.
explaining and complaining. That's ridiculous. There's no excuse for not taking 5 minutes. You stretch off your bed before you get in it. So I tell everybody, say that, stretch off it before you get in it. Okay. If you
Mhm.
have a footboard, you go sideways because you need to be at the end of the bed. If you get dizzy, if you lay flat, do it on a pillow. So, you know how you sleep at the top of your pillow? Well, the pillow is going to be a little further down. So, the way that you do this is you get to the end of the bed, your shoulders are always on the bed. Shoulders never come off the bed, your shoulders are always on. Now, the base of your skull, like where your hairline is,
Mhm.
that's called the occipital ridge. So you can feel that, right? That's
Yep.
where you want the bed, like just here. So what that does is it gives you the best. You can feel that with your hands. You feel
Mhm.
that little traction in your neck. When you do that, you should feel a little tug in your cervical spine. Best traction you could get. People think that if you pull your head up, that's good traction. No, no, you're pulling your vertebra in the wrong way. This way, it just pulls it gently, and you're in total control of how far your head goes off. Listen to your body. Please listen to your bodies. It will know what's right. Um, and then once you're comfortable there, take a breath. Drop your head. You'll get maybe another little click in your cervical spine.
Mhm.
That's the best adjustment is when you adjust yourself. The bone said, "Oh yeah, oh there it is. Yes, nice." And then once you're comfortable there, massage the base of your skull for real. So you start where the pocket goes in, and then you massage the base. And there's two bumps at the base of your skull. And again, fancy. They're your occipital ridge protuberances. So you massage them. Can you feel the stress in there?
Mhm.
This releases all the stress from the day, and then you go out to the backs of your ears, or you can do your neck a little bit, and the base of your skull where your hair is. Just take your time and relax into that, and just feel the magic of releasing all the tension in our poor little necks that do so much for us. You're giving it a break every night. After you massage the base of your skull, and that feels good, arms up over your head. So many people, as soon as they feel this, they feel it. They're like, whoa, and my arms don't go back too far. This is all whatever it is. The more you do this, the better it's going to feel. So now bring that back. Ah, doesn't that feel nice?
Mhm.
And then you make a snow angel. You just open your arms and you change that stretch. And you're doing so much for yourself because you're opening up your lung capacity. You're opening up your pec muscles, your platysma, your neck, your biceps, triceps, your rotator cuff muscles, um, between your shoulder blades, your traps. It really just does so much. It's so worth it. Then clasp your fingers together, turn them out. Now come up over your head. Release. You feel that between your shoulder blades, right?
Yep.
Those are your rhomboids. Those pesky rhomboids, they do so much for us. I mean, they're holding everything. You're moving your arms and everything else. They go under that shoulder blade and then they attach right at your thoracic spine. And the nerve endings that come out from your thoracic spine go over that. So sometimes people get numbness in their hands or they wake up with the hand. or, they feel it down their arm. That could be from your rhomboids. People have gone to the hospital because their left rhomboid went into spasm and they thought they were having a heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
Because when your muscle is too short and too tight, and you use it, because when we use a muscle, it gets short and tight. So when you use a muscle that's too short, too tight, it says, I have no more to give you. And it goes into spasm. Now that's true pain because then it's all inflamed and angry and irritated and it does not has nothing more to give you. And that's how some people lock up and they really it's scary because it's like, what do I do now?
Mm-hmm.
And doing this is going to help that. And if you do have an angry muscle, ice it. There's always that debate, ice heat, ice heat. Well, people say that, heat is going to open up the muscle. Stretching opens the muscle. Heat feels good while you're doing it. I'll give you that. It really does. But it's exasperating it. Think about that. You don't get any relief afterwards. It just feels good while you're doing it. You're not releasing that muscle like you think you are. You're not relaxing it. You're making it more angry. But where you put ice on, now you got some healing because you're bringing down the fire. You're not putting flames on a fire. You're putting out the fire. You're bringing blood to that area. And it feels good. When my neck was so broken, I found this big ice pack. I'm going to give another plug. The Chattanooga, like choo choo, Chattanooga, 11 by 14 ice bag. I mean, it's inexpensive. That's what I love about it too. I'm like this, it comes out soft from the freezer. It's like 20 bucks. It's so worth it. I make my clients get it if they're in pain. And if you roll it up and then put your neck on it, oh, it's and then it goes down to your rhomboids. Talk about relief. I mean, it's amazing. So if you do the off the bed every night, I mean, there's a little more to it because you bend your knees and you get your lower back involved. But it's just an amazing stretch. Everybody should do it. Every human.
Yeah. 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 Well, it sounds like it. And yeah, I mean, I will admit that I don't stretch.
Yeah,
I rarely do. If I have pain, I do,
yeah,
you
because you
know?
don't realize and to your I don't blame you because you don't know what to do. It's like, I don't know how, so that's why I'm here. And that's why I'm here to explain to more people that there is a proper way to stretch. It's not your fault that you don't know. I mean, you were never taught. We don't learn. We do gym class, but it's always, reach and hold and that's it.
Yeah. Grab your toes. Can you grab your toes? Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I was never able to. Even
No.
in grammar school, I remember the teacher yelling at me because I was bending my knees, and she's like, "You're cheating." Like when you're a kid, you're like, "Oh my God, I'm cheating." But the first day that I was able to, because I've been stretching for all these years, and I'm the most flexible I've ever been in my life. I mean, I love it. And my mom doing the seated piriformis even into her 80s. She was able to sit Indian style and she was able to dance and walk. And she fell a couple of times, unfortunately, but she never hurt her hip. And my siblings were even like, oh my God, Di, you really helped mom. I said, no, no, she did it. She did the stretches, every day. When I talked to her, I did my performance today. She was so cute. I was like, it's performance, right? Yeah, I know. I did my performance. It was so cute.
Yeah.
I just love
Yeah. Which
learning about
reminds
something.
me, going back to the story in the hotel room with the other people and your mother screaming, how
Oh,
did she
yes.
end up after that?
Well,
After
she
the stretch?
realized that that's what it was, and she let me do both sides. Now, the piriformis is a bugger. It's not going to feel better right away, I have to admit. It takes a little while, and be patient. Be patient with your body. It didn't get this way overnight. Even though some people are like, it just happened. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. It's been working this way for a long time, but you didn't know, or you ignored it, or you didn't know what to do for it. In your defense, I get it. You don't know what to do for it. And, but your body sounds an alarm for a reason. And it's unfortunate that, most of the time you take a pill or, you go to a doctor and they give you a pill And that just covers it up. The your alarm is telling you you need something. Well, now you're learning that there is a real solution for your muscular pain. And it is tried and true and has been around in our country for over 70 years. And it's time that more people know that it just takes minutes a night.
Mhm.
There's really no good excuse except that you're lazy. That's not a good excuse. You didn't have time, not a good excuse. There's no good excuse because if you say, I was in too much pain, what? No, that doesn't make sense to me. No, no, I'm telling you, you do this and you're going to release that pain. Muscle
Mhm.
release technique. That was the name of the class. And you release that muscle, you release the injuries that it's causing to your body and the pain and everything else. So it's
That makes so
working.
much sense. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Yep.
and it sounds like something all athletes should be doing as well, instead of
100%.
the kind of stretching that athletes typically do.
100%. Aaron Madison, Sarasota, Florida. Now he's been around for a long time, and as a matter of fact, I think he's well into his 80s. What a great guy! He reminds me of Jimmy Stewart. I don't know if anybody remembers Jimmy Stewart, but he was a
Oh yeah,
great old
of
actor,
course.
and that's his demeanor. He's just a nice old man. And now his sons are taking over his practice, but he's had so many sports people because I had visited him once. I had to go see his office, and he was shouting out all these sports people. And the only one I remember is Derek Jeter. But there are some sports people that have heard of active isolated stretching, and that's why they know to go there.
Yeah,
They're
interesting.
they're wise.
Yeah,
They've got it.
yeah,
Yeah, a lot of they should be doing this, absolutely.
yeah.
Undo
So
the damage.
what about like when we were working on neck, there's a little kink, kink, like a little
Yes.
click, whatever, I don't know, whatever the
Clicking.
noise
Yes.
is. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. What is
Well, our bodies adjust naturally. And that's what it is. I mean, think about it. All your muscles attached to either tendons or muscle to bone or ligaments over joints. So if your muscle is tight, sometimes you hear I mean, we hear it in our brain, not everybody hears it, but it's a lot of little clicking. And that's just your body adjusting itself and taking care of itself. It's not bad, especially when, because there's also a neck stretch. You want to do the neck stretch.
sure.
So for the erector spinae, which attaches at the base of your skull and goes all the way down,
Mhm.
what you want to do is you put both hands behind your head and pull your head down. It's not your shoulders, it's just your head. So pull, shh, release, pull again, shh, release. One more time, just do it. Shh. You see how when you do the reps, how
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. Oh, it feels
Yeah.
good.
It
Yeah,
does
there's no
feel
doubt.
good.
It feels so good.
Yeah, that one's
Yeah.
good. Yeah. So that one will help people if you're at your desk and your neck starts bothering you. Just pull it down. 4 sets of 5 reps. It takes a couple of minutes. So worth
Yeah. Yeah.
it.
So my husband used to get this buildup of lactic acid underneath his scapula.
Shoulder blade.
Yeah.
Yep, yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep. That's those rhomboids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely the rhomboids. So I would suggest doing the off the bed, start the off the bed tonight. And first you do this as your head is off. This one. So one of my clients came in once and he had like a golf ball size knot in that rhomboid. Oh my God, I could rub this till I'm blue in the face. I said, Rob, you got to start doing this one. So I showed him, to do this and, do
Mhm.
reps of it. And the next time he came back, it was the size of a quarter. And he was not complaining about it at all. And I was like, oh my God, Rob, you're doing them, huh? He goes, Di, you told me every night. I do them we're Jersey. He said, Di, I'm doing them every night. You told me. I said, thank you. Because I knew that it worked, but to have that proof,
Mhm.
I love it. I
Yeah.
just love
Yeah.
it.
No kidding. Okay,
Yeah.
so what about muscle mass? Because early on you said it's not about lifting weights, or are you anti-lifting weights or
No, 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 no. We have to lift weights, but
okay.
there's a right and wrong way.
All right.
Never outside your body with weights. People think they're building up their deltoids. No, no. Bicep, shh. Tricep, shh. I'm all for it. Light weights because now, I mean, I've been exercising for years, and the best one that I found for core and neck, because it's hard, how do we know how to work out our neck? So when I'm in the off the bed um stance, you put your arms up over your head and you lift your head and your torso. A crunch like this is detrimental to your neck. But
Mm.
if your hands are over your head and you're looking at the ceiling, you work your core like no other, I'm telling you. And your
Yeah.
legs are straight, and then you bring them. I started with like five of each, and then you bring your knees up a little bit and do five more. Bring your knees all the way up, and you work the different parts of your core, and then leg lifts. Good old fashioned leg lifts. I'm telling you, they do so much. You tighten that butt like no other. Plus, they make your lower back stronger. They make your hip flexors stronger. They make your core stronger. A lot of people think I need weights, I need this, I need that. Just the basics. I mean, now I do it with weights on my hands, light weights on my hands, light weights on my feet, like I control the weight on my legs. And so now because we need that for bone strength.
Mhm.
You need to work. Exercise is good for the soul. It's good for our bodies. It gives us positive endorphins. It keeps us strong. Working out is wonderful, but we don't need to overdo. You don't need a half an hour of this in the gym. You just don't. I'm in the best shape of my life by doing my 10-15 minute bed exercise and, working out my arms myself. It's true.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That's good. That's really
Mhm.
good. So does stretching alone, does it build any muscle mass or it just helps
It
the
gives
mass
you
that's there?
length. It's not that it's going to build your mass. That's what the weights are for.
Okay.
But it will give your muscle length, which gives it strength. Because if a muscle is too short, too tight, it has nothing more to give you. And
Mm.
so that's what I was saying about the physical therapy. They work around that muscle by strengthening. They put you on a machine and, okay, do this 10 minutes, do that 10 minutes. But all they're doing is strengthening the muscle around that affected muscle. So when you have a muscle that's rearing its head and angry, you have to lengthen it. And you always stretch after your workout. That's another fallacy is people think I got to stretch before and after. No, no. You warm up before. You do some hops, just move your body. For me, it's dancing. I put on that song and I just start, groove out. Warm up your muscles, but stretching them makes them comfortable and happy. And you don't want to do that before you work it out because then it's like, wait a minute, am I am I relaxed or am I working out? What am I doing? You confuse it. So instead, you stretch after your workouts. So that's important and it will give you the length will give you strength.
All right. Yeah. Good to know. Oh my gosh, you have shared so much information. I appreciate it so much. Yeah, it's so
Mhm.
good. You mentioned migraine. Is there something in particular that helps with migraine?
Yes. And it was the stretch that thank you for asking.
Mhm.
That this was the stretch that I started doing. Remember that one that I said when I started it, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And people don't like this one, but I'm telling you, hands down, it is the best one because the levator scapula, which is this muscle right here, attaches to our upper trap, which so many people have upper trap pain, and then it goes into your occipital ridge. So in order to stretch that one, you put your hand on your hip. You're like you're sassy, your hands on your hip. And then when you do this, you kind of pull your arm back. You look towards the arm that's back. Grab the top of the back of your head. No, you're grabbing the back of your head, top.
Oh, okay.
And now you're going to put this ear to this pec. So you're pulled down and diagonal,
Uh,
down and diagonal. There you go. Shh. Release. Do it again. Shh. Release. Right? You feel that one, don't you?
mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
And that one, I admit, I like to do that one in the shower. That one, Heat is, if you put a heating pad on, I don't agree with that. But the warm water while you're doing that, it just feels good. So if you take your shower at night, do these while you're doing in the shower, it just feels wonderful. And that opens the neck. Now, you could be like me and go, "Oh no, this lady's wrong. This she's crazy. There's no way." Just keep it up. Just keep it up. Trust in the fact that you're not hurting yourself, you're only helping. You're pulling those fibers apart slowly, easily. And yes, it's going to take a little while to feel better. However, you do get immediate relief because you've stopped the nagging, you've stopped the, oh my God, I'm so tight, I don't know what to do. And so you do open it a little bit. But to get full range of motion, like for me to touch my toes, it probably took me like 6 months, believe it or not, of me doing the stretch on a regular basis. So you're going to see improvements little by little. And that's how you know they're real improvements. Because anything that happens fast in your body is only temporary.
Mm.
Anything that's long lasting is real, and that's the proof that it's long lasting. I mean, my mother said that she needed, and they told my mother she needed a knee replacement, and I kept telling her, it's your calf muscles, mom. Your calf muscles are tight, your gastrocs are tight. I know, I don't like that one, blah blah, like she didn't like that stretch for the calf muscles. But she was on in the hospital. She was ready to get surgery, get a new knee replacement. The anesthesiologist comes in and says, "Oh no. Oh no." Says to the partner, "Listen to her heart." The partner listens to her heart and says, "Oh no, she has a murmur. I'm not doing this." The surgeon was like, "What?" "I'm all set. I'm ready to do this." I said, "Mom, you have to start stretching your calf muscles." All right. Because every time she had pain in her knee, I would massage her calf muscle. It would feel better. So then she started stretching every morning and every night. And she's like, "Hot dang, Diane, you are right." I'm like, "I know." Try to tell you. But yeah. So the more that you stretch areas that are bothering you, the better they feel.
Yeah, yeah, interesting. Ah, this has been so good. Thank you so much for all of this. And people can get their hands on all this information. Tell them how to do that.
Yes. My website, this is what I do. I get the knots out. So it's getthenotsout.com. I do video chat with people. I'll see how you're stretching, see how, what's bothering you. We can go do a rundown. Or my book, Stretch Your Pain Away in 10 Minutes a Day.
Nice.
And my mom is actually in the book.
Ah, I
I
love it.
said, I said, "Mom, I'm taking pictures for my book. We're going to the park. Come with us. You do them. I want people to know." She was in her 80s when she did this. So I'm so pleased to have my mom in my book. And
Mm,
so my website, getthenotsout.com, and my book, Stretch Your Pain Away in 10 Minutes a Day. I also have a DVD, and people are like, "You have to put it on digital." Some people don't have DVD players anymore.
right.
But if you do, it's under an hour and you stretch your whole body. I'm telling you, if you do that on a regular basis, you'll know how to stretch everything. And not only will it help you, but it helps your family, it helps your friends, because I get the biggest high when people come in and they're like, "You helped my neighbor." I did. How did I help your neighbor? Well, you taught me this stretch, and now I taught them, and they feel better. So
Nice.
I'm truly blessed.
Yeah. Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. Thank you so much for the work that you've put into this so that you know
Thank
all of
you.
this. And thank you for sharing all the information. And yes,
Thank
go
you.
to Diane's site. She's got the information there that you need. Buy the book. It's available on Amazon. It's
Amazon.
available
Yep. And
wherever.
through my website. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. You know somebody in pain, send them the book. And
Yeah.
so do the stretches like you said, Diane, it's not going to hurt you. It will
Oh,
only
it's only
help
going to help
you.
you.
And if you got
Yes.
pain somewhere in your body, why not start there? Why not start with
Yes.
today? Start with the
It's
stretches and
only
then see
minutes
how
a
you go.
day. Only
Yes.
minutes a day. And you're worth it. Know your worth. Like they say in the airplane, you got to put your mask on first. So take care of you first, and then you can take care of everything going on.
Great advice. Great advice. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
thank you. I really appreciate you, and you keep up the good work. Thank you for sharing the love. Amen. Appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Thank
So
you.
thank you everybody for being with us today. If you know somebody that this episode could help, which I think I know a whole bunch of people,
Mhm.
pass it on, share it, and look up Diane on her book and get the stuff that you need so that you can stretch the pain away in 10 minutes a day. I love that.
Amen.
That's so good.
Amen. Yeah.
Get the knots out.com.
Yes.
And so do all those things and you'll feel better. And let's
Yes.
all just feel better. Who doesn't
Amen.
want to feel better, right?
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, yeah. So thanks again, everybody, for joining us today. And I just want to say that until we see each other again, I pray that you keep your heart open and you live your love loud.